Alright, fine.
I mean, it's okay. We can leave it.
What's wrong?
The heater. It's cold in the office. Hold on. 1 second. Hey, Travis, do me a favor.
Yeah?
Can you ring that bell for me? Woo! Welcome to the Perfectly Modern Podcast, or I like to call it Perfectly Modcast. This is episode number 5. That was the bell. You know what that means? If you support us on Patreon, patreon.com/perfectly moderate, you can help us get this from an audio podcast to a video podcast. Joining me this week, I'm Lennette, by the way. I've got... Anybody want to say something here? Jesus.
Sorry. Again, for the video listeners, this was for
the video listeners,
and our guests awkwardly staring at each other, waiting for one of us to do something. It's Travis and
D.
Awesome. So we were talking about the heater, right? It's just kind of, it's on in the background. That's what we were looking at. It's okay because we're talking over it now. We're kind of blocking out the sound. So
it's cold in here. It's totally worth it.
Yeah, there must be some doors in the atmosphere. Before we get too far into the podcast, we obviously got to do our what, Travis?
I fucking hate you.
What?
For the joke. And anyway, it's time for our shot for Harambe. Take a shot for Harambe. He took one for you.
What do we got this week?
This week we have lemon nades.
Like lemon grenade. It's a portmanteau. Right? That's what it's called?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, I was asking Dee. She's the English major.
Oh.
What was that?
A portmanteau?
Yes.
Yeah, I nailed it. All right, so shots for Harambe.
Woo.
Oh, we're meant to slam it? I thought it was a drink. Shit.
That's what a shot is.
Okay, fine.
Are you sure you're from Wisconsin?
I'm a casual drinker.
Don't fucking lie to the people.
Hey, that's why I get paid to do it on a weekly basis. Let's do this. It's so sour and delicious.
I love it though, because you can't even taste the alcohol.
No, that is accurate. Okay, you're not wrong. That's a good point. That's a good point. All right. So, we were just talking before we started the podcast about what Travis gets this weekend. Explain it to the people, Travis.
This weekend I'm updating from an older cell phone, which it texts, it calls, it takes pictures. And that's all it does. It does nothing fancy. There's no form of smartphone. Had it for years. I've been happy with it. Don't want a smartphone. This weekend I'm getting catapulted into the digital age by Lennette, and I'm getting an iPhone.
Okay, hold on. So, saying it's an old phone does not accurately describe what this phone is, right? Because it's just...
It is square.
Yeah.
Alright, so for any of you who remember the age of the BlackBerry, when that was just the biggest shit ever, it's a phone, it's a PDA, you know, blew everybody's mind in the 2000s. It's basically a knockoff BlackBerry, because it's got this weird little curve feature at the bottom where you can kind of hold it a little easier, but not really. But the important part is, if you flip it around, the speakers point up and you can use it for your music. Except, you know, the way to download is basically through a computer setup because it's really old and is not a friendly format. And, yeah, I've had for like 7 years now and, I've never used it for music.
How attached to it are you? Like, once we get you an iPhone, how attached to this piece of shit thing are you going to be?
After I transfer what I need from it, absolutely not.
So...
Are you going to shoot it?
Okay. I was going to say, hey, do you want to just kind of go ham on it and vent all of your technical frustrations on this thing for some satisfying catharsis for the YouTube channel / Patreon viewers, but...
I figured that's what shooting it would do.
Yeah, I was going to say it more poetically. I'm sorry. I thought you were an English major.
I am. However, I am talking to Travis.
Yeah,
so.
he
Actually,
does things
I just
good.
kind of want to hit it real hard, like, so Lennette was in the...
Lennette was correct then.
We're going to edit that bit out. All right. Not the part where you said Lennette was correct. I like that. That was good. You can say that some more.
You're going to reuse that every time.
There's a one-liner. All right. But yeah, so I'm really excited. And then we found out, because we both have iPhones, I can use stickers And I've been really sad because I don't have anybody that I text on a regular basis. And, like, literally my biggest gripe with Travis was like, oh, man, I text you enough. You don't have anything, like, you're literally... Okay, we've been having so many communication issues for the last couple of years. It's kind of fucking ridiculous, actually. So, where did it all actually start with your phone? Because I hate this fucking thing, too. That's why I'm totally okay with destroying it for a video.
Shit, what was it? Yeah, it was about two years ago now is when the issue first started, and that was when, for some reason, we could not text or call each other. Our phones basically refused to acknowledge each other's existence.
So as opposed to pocket dialing him, it turns out, when I found out 8 months later, that I pocket blocked him. So, when my phone was on in my pocket, and my thighs were sweaty, and it bonked against my thighs enough, it just went from Travis, totally cool, to Travis, don't want to talk to him ever again, no. So, I could send him stuff sometimes, but he would never get any of his messages through to me. So, it was just completely blocked off. Even though we tried to communicate on a fucking almost daily basis. So what did we end up doing?
So we ended up using the PlayStation Messenger feature on my PlayStation Vita and the downloadable PlayStation Messenger app for his was it still an iPhone?
No, way back in the day, we used the Xbox Messenger app on my iPad.
Oh, God. No, the first time.
Yeah, we would just message back and forth on the Xbox 360. So we'd go, like... You know, we'd have half of a conversation and then just stop talking for a couple of days because neither one of us had been on the Xbox. So that was it. No talking. But, like, now that we didn't want to, just fucking couldn't. Figured it out eventually. Then his phone just started derping and it bricked itself occasionally. And every time he tried to talk to me, it bricked itself. So it was like, okay, we'll keep on not talking then. Hope that's cool. Then eventually, what? Now it just gets like half text sometimes. Basically, I have a character limit of like 2, 3 to 5 word sentences. So I can only communicate in like caveman basically to him, trying to make complex plans. Obviously, it's frustrating.
I mean, at best, you're really just looking at 15 characters, bro. Like, you should see how some of these messages... No. Let me describe how some of these messages fucking come through to me, and you'll understand. Alright, I want to know what your comparisons are, because I don't know what the other half of these messages are. So, earlier, I got a hold of him. We're gonna make plans, doing stuff. Alright. So, at 2:42 today, from Lennette, I got, what's the sheesh?
I meant to say, what's the sheesh and coal situation? I was curious. Do we need sheesh? Do we need coals? I was in Madison. We like hookahs.
We did.
Okay, we got them.
Wish I'd known. Would have just asked you to get them.
To be fair, I sent that when I was back in Rio, and I was just willing to drive to Sun Prairie, so I mean, all things considered, it was more of a lateral transition, and we momented it, but whatever. It's cool. Your phone still sucks. Point being.
Later on, at basically 4 o'clock, at Barant.
Oh, yeah. I meant to say at Barant ETA. And eventually I figured it out as he'll show up when he's fucking here, and if I'm happen to be watching the window, cool. If not, sucks to be him. He'll wait. Probably should have my phone on me. Oh, fuck, where's my phone?
Yeah, it's been doing this for, what, 4 months now?
Yeah, basically. And now I get to slap stickers all over everything. And emojis. Oh my god. I'm so excited.
Fuck my life.
Emojis, stickers, Twitter, Instagram, filters. Hashtag no filter. Hashtag mod squad. Hey, do you want to hear about another promotion we're doing?
I would love to hear about another promotion you're doing.
So see, I don't know if you know this, but YouTube channels need 100 subscribers to change their channel logo or channel link from a bunch of random numbers and letters to something specific like, /perfectly moderate. So if you want to help our channel get to that, you should go subscribe to this video, and the 100 subscriber, so if they snap a screenshot, send us it using the hashtag Mod Squad, you get a $25 Taco Bell gift card, because we fucking love Taco Bell. And anybody who's really ambitious between 1 and 99 who takes a screenshot and sends that to us with the hashtag Mod Squad, maybe they'll get a package in the mail with some hot sauce. Who knows? That's all I'm saying.
We got a fire drawer.
We got a fire drawer. It's got fire mixtape, fire sauce, fire-related things like gasoline and hookah shit.
Fire Pepsi.
Fire Pepsi! Oh shit, that's a good idea. I didn't even think of that. I was like, what are we gonna do with this? Put it in the fucking drawer. Boom, problem solved.
As long as we can get it out of view, I'm okay with it.
But Fire Pepsi's pretty delicious, though.
No, it's really not. It's like Diablo flavor sheesh, which is basically like smoking a stick of Big Red.
Okay, so I just had a thought, right?
Oh God.
What if you did cocaine through a cinnamon stick?
What?
I mean, we're just talking about doing crazy shit with cinnamon. I'm just saying, that's probably the equivalent of smoking Diablo or drinking Pepsi Fire. It's like snorting cocaine through a cinnamon stick. Would it just smell cinnamony?
I
No.
think it would...
Would you die?
No.
Would it be awesome?
Imagine the terrible cinnamon challenge that went around the internet for a while.
I don't know how cinnamon sticks work. I really don't.
No,
You
see,
would eventually get some of the particles. It
Oh
wouldn't
no,
be
I'm not
that
saying a lot.
bad.
I'm just saying like one line of cinnamon coke.
You would still get some of the particles, so it wouldn't be too terrible. But
You'd be getting a lot of particles, man.
you're also doing
Some
a
of the
line
cinnamon,
of coke, so...
It's gonna burn, and then that cinnamon is gonna go into that.
But is it gonna burn minty fresh?
My
No,
theory
not
is...
minty.
Is it gonna burn deliciously cinnamon fresh?
It's really not going to be that much worse than doing a regular line of coke unless you start doing multiple.
I would like to ask, however, how many people in this room have done coke, because I don't think we've really polled enough people to be sure about this.
Legal department says shut the fuck up, bitch.
Point made.
Wait, do we actually have a legal department yet? Because I know we have an accountant. If not,
We have somebody who gets to the mail if we fuck up, so sure. And it's not me.
I think it's technically me.
No, it's Gary.
Oh, wait. That's going to... Oh, man. He is a bad legal department.
Yeah, but he's great with our taxes.
Thank God somebody is.
It's not me. I'm not. No, I drink weekly, man. That's not my job. My job's to drink and tell you guys you're doing great, and find other people to show up here and drink with us.
No,
I swear to God, it's not a trap. We don't kill them. They have lives outside of this. Maybe once.
it's a trap. Don't let him lie to you.
Shut up, General Akbar. Oh, hey, you want to get into it? Because so Film Theory put out a meta theory about how theories ruined Star Wars, right?
Okay.
And you how do you feel about Star Wars? How do you feel about Star Wars, D?
I am a massive Star Wars fan.
How do you feel about the new Star Wars?
I also sold my soul to Disney pretty young on, so it's a terrible, terrible thing, but it's already been and past for me. It was just kind of a thing that I shrugged off because I'm like, it was a matter of time before, these two giant evils happened. Anywho, I like the new one simply because it will pull in a new generation into the lore of it. And parents can be like, look at this, and show their kids, and then they can talk to their kids about, when your grandpa went and saw, like my dad.
Mm-hmm.
He had never seen a movie like that. People in the theater ducked as that spaceship came over their head. Like, come on. That is empowering for any kid to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So you get history, you get, art, you get all these kinds of things. So people can bash on the new Star Wars as much as they want. You know what? There's some plot holes. I could rag on it. But the overall point is, it's going to be a beautiful thing.
I really like the new Star Wars trilogy. Travis and I actually get into fights a lot, right? About the whole throwing out the extended lore and all that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it makes sense from a writing standpoint, because, if you want to include all of that shit, you're including, 30, 40 years of, extensive lore that you have to worry about when you're writing a film, and it's, unless you're a diehard fan, you're never going to be able to, comprehend that level of shit.
Exactly.
So, from a writing standpoint, it's easy to just go, all this shit that mattered after the films, fuck it, we're doing more films. So, the films matter, the films matter, it's a film series, films. And then, when they added the, Clone Wars series and stuff, I'm like, well, it makes sense, because, it's expanding a lot of, that middle part, because, the Clone Wars expanded the Clone Wars, it's a big fucking deal. Star Wars Rebels expanded, what happened after the Clone Wars leading up to A New Hope. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, makes sense. These new films, I think, are doing great, but the film theory was saying, like, you know, a lot of doing so, because, like, people are pumped about the old Star Wars, but they're pissed off that this is doing a bunch of new shit. But it's like, isn't that the point, though? I mean, Star Wars was praised for doing new shit. Everybody hated the prequels because they were doing the same shit, but way dumbed down. And it's like, this is too much, like, backstory and history, but it's like, but this is the prequels it's supposed to set up, like,
Right.
all the crazy bullshit you know nothing about, it explains it and why it's important. This is setting up all that lore that, like, nobody wants to get into, and then, like, the sand bullshit and, like, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, it's important because it sucks, not because it's good. You know what I mean? Like, overall, it's gonna matter. And then, like, the new trilogy is about, like, all this old stuff, like, breaking it down, destroying it. Have you seen the new movie yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So I'm really liking it because what I'm seeing is, like, you know how it's yin and yang, right? The dark side, the light side.
Correct.
The issue I've been seeing with, like, the whole Jedi versus Sith is that it is, spoilers, it is very clearly a, like, one side is just the light, so the other side is clearly just the dark. There is no light in the dark and dark in the light.
Now
They're
there
always
is more of the blend
Yeah,
and
'cause,
more
like,
of the yin and yang.
You see in Rey the dark side, the fact that she was drawn strictly to the dark, but she wasn't drawn for angry. Hey, the chair's fine though.
Yeah,
she wasn't drawn
dove
for, like,
in with
evil
how-
reasons. Yeah, she was like,
Yeah.
I want to face the darkness within me so that I can better understand it and therefore understand myself.
Right.
Meanwhile-
she knows she has to face that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what's making Kylo Ren a good villain is the fact that he's making these, like, really tough calls. He's actually trying to do it for what he perceives to be a greater good, which is kind of weird. And it's like, you know, he's, like, trying to glorify a past that was kind of fucking awful and make it even crazier. But it's like,
Exactly.
that's the juxtaposition, though, is like, but he still kind of has a heart, though. So how can he be so heartless? You know what I mean? Like, this could be anybody given the right situation and motivation. That's the point. You know what I mean? And I feel like it makes more sense from a writing standpoint. Like, this is why they're the epitome of each side, because this is somebody who will face the dark within himself. This is somebody on the light side or the dark side who will go, this is for a quote unquote greater good. This is not for power. This is not for hunger. I do see a true potential for good, but only my good. Make sense, Travis?
Yeah.
How are you feeling over there, buddy?
I'm just, again, sitting here listening.
Okay. I mean,
Mostly because we've argued about the whole Star Wars things multiple times, so... In fact, I'm fairly certain we did this in episode 2, so, I mean...
no, we talked about the Disney thing and Star Wars. We literally
got into it.
We
about...
touched it just so I could get into Fox.
Fair enough.
Hey, so have you seen The Greatest Showman yet, or have you heard about it?
I have heard about it because Travis mentioned it to me on the ride over here.
Yeah.
And I had seen previews of it on Facebook and been like, oh, hey, look, scrolling Facebook, gonna scroll past that, it's an ad, moving on with my life. As Travis is telling me, he says P.T. Barnum. I love Baraboo, whatever. So, it's got some circus history, I'm like, okay, I'll probably have to see that. And then he says the words Hugh Jackman, and I'm like, well, that takes all the question mark out of it.
But did he sell it? It's a musical.
He did.
Awesome.
That was the selling point. That was how we got into the conversation, because we were talking about musicals. I happen to love musicals. So that was already
Yeah,
the
so
first step.
we were watching it, and it was on YouTube, and it was like Hugh Jackman, Zac Efron, and Zendaya reenacting one of the songs. It was awesome.
Okay.
A lot of big production on a soundstage, and Travis was like, where is this? And he's like, 20th Century Fox soundstage, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, cool. Because it looks like, you know, it's Disneyland or some bullshit. And I was like, well, it is now. Because, yeah,
Accurate.
Disney bought 20th Century Fox, and I was like,
We both laughed pretty hard.
I was happy.
Yes.
I was happy with myself.
Well done.
So I got a question quick. Did you ever explain what's in the lemonade shot?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, let's circle back on that. Call back.
Alright, well, Lynette,
Pour me another. Pour me another while you explain it.
I'm gonna make you a lemonade.
Okay. Then you actually pour me another. Did you actually use this?
No, I used Monster.
Okay, explain what's in Travis. Make me another.
Alright, so... Sorry.
That's not going anywhere. You gotta talk louder.
Alright. Anyway, a lemonade is Limon Bacardi, and it's sort of out of a lemon, so I mean, measuring is a whole lot of shaking chicken bones and voodoo. Just don't think too hard about it. So, I don't know, half? Full? Oh.
Half a lemon of Bacardi.
These measurements are valid in Wisconsin.
It's like measuring in dodos, man.
Perfectly moderate. The chunks of lemon, the lemon juice, and 4 lemon heads dissolved in a cup, just kind of poured in there to mix. Not completely.
I feel like you should just say muddled lemon puree.
Muddled lemon puree, couple splashes.
Yeah.
Sounds so much fancier.
Muddled lemon puree asterisk. And you have to say asterisk. It's very important. There's some qualifiers.
Not a real scientist?
I'm not a real scientist. I'm a real doctor, though. Did you know you can get your master's a doctorate in drum performance?
I did not.
Yeah, you can literally be a doctor of drum performance. A drum doctor, if you would. I was trained by one. He taught me the ways. He studied many a year in West Africa, wandering the... I don't know. The safari? The Sahara? I don't know.
Desert. Just say desert.
Wandering the desert, playing the drums for weary travelers. I wish I was kidding.
God damn it.
It takes all kinds.
By the way, make sure not to get any
what a beautiful thing
seeds.
to actually be doing.
Who's subsidized? The government paid for it. And it was part of my college degree. I was really happy.
That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
There are some beautiful moments in college. There's a lot of pain and suffering and crushing debt, but there's some beautiful moments.
I'm considering going back to college for one class just to complete a minor that doesn't actually exist yet, only so I can qualify technically for a scholarship my work is offering.
It seems like a valid...
That seems like a lot of qualifiers, yeah, but I was like...
But, you know, if you really
I mean, you could just give it to me if I won, because, like, I'm still good. You know what I mean? But, like, if I gotta jump to some hoops, I'll dance. I'm a good monkey.
Right.
Our bitches...
I want to do this. I'm a seal. Give me the bait.
I got a whole company to back me here. Let's do this shit. What you got?
I like
What
how
will you
whole
do with
company
them?
refers to...
Hey, I got a few good friends, one decent room, some equipment.
You forgot to put the asterisk after decent. There's qualifiers on that.
There's qualifiers on that. And Puddles. The fog machine. I'm very excited about him. He's new.
Can't wait to introduce him.
Yeah. We gotta rip the soul out of another fog machine. It's gonna be a whole fucking thing, man.
I mean, it's heresy, but it's the good kind of heresy.
I'm ready to threaten Piddles.
Careful, he might piddle.
Man, just check the fucking link. It's gonna be amazing. I'm going to do this video. It's gonna be fucking next level. You'll never expect it. I can't even describe it. It's so hype. Speaking of hype, what else are we doing this year, D? I should tell people who you actually are and what your function is. So this is D. She is a friend I know. She's a good writer. She does words well. So she's helping me write some of my more long-form projects we've been working on. We're going to be working on a short film. It'll be coming out in the fall. And then hopefully another promo short that's going to be coming out hopefully over the summer for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan film I mentioned on Tokens Podcast. We're going to see if we can put something together for that. Maybe even get a Kickstarter going. We'll see. But shots for Harambe. May the meme never die.
There you go, Lynette. You did it properly this time. Every
Yeah.
shot.
There's
How
a little
does
more.
it feel?
Better.
Okay.
I feel it in my soul. Like the foot soul, not like the... not that deep feeling you feel in your spine. That's not there anymore.
That, like, acid feeling is
No.
kind of like your foot waking up after it's fallen asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Perfect.
But yeah, how pumped are you, D?
I am very excited to be getting more involved. And, I'm really excited for some of the stuff that we talked about earlier. I don't know how much you've told your,
Nothing. So...
Nothing.
So, well, we can't obviously... So for the long form one, for the movie we're going to be putting out in the fall, the film, it's a mental health awareness piece. We could probably say that.
We could say that, definitely.
But it subverts a lot of expectations about what that could mean. So I don't want to get too far into it because I feel like a lot of it relies on going in with no expectations. You know what
exactly,
I mean?
it is.
So we can't talk about it too much, but we
Yeah.
can kind of tease at it a lot. You know what I mean?
We can definitely poke at it and tease at it, and I think it's something that's going to definitely make people, like you said, it's a mental awareness piece, and it's going to make people think more about that, but in a hopefully new aspect. So keep an eye out for that, folks.
Yeah, I mean, I just got a new tattoo, right? It's a semicolon tattoo, so I feel like that kind of says a lot about it. And then I feel like mental health awareness is becoming more popular. Look at like what happened last year with what the Logic song. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but the 1-800 song.
Yeah.
So
I don't know the whole number myself.
But I mean, you know, it's important. It's interesting to see people talking more about their feelings openly and really subverting a lot of like what mental health means and trying to be like more aware and push it more, especially in America where we've always been more of a swallow your feelings kind of country.
Definitely. I've seen a giant shift between when we were all, you know, younger and experiencing a lot of issues that adolescents go through in mental health issues compared to now where there's this much more open atmosphere. I mean, I can't speak directly because I am no longer an adolescent, sadly, despite my actions. Anyhow, but from the media that I have witnessed, culture, music, television, it is more open. You can have an easier conversation. I'm glad that society is finally going that way and acknowledging it. Just because it's not a broken bone doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I had a good thought there and I lost it. Always happens.
Always.
It
was probably poetic and beautiful and it's gone.
No, it wasn't that good. I always fuck it up. But
Perfectly moderate.
perfectly moderate. You know how it is. But no, I think it's fuck. Travis, save me.
What, yourself?
Not the one to help you with that.
He's not. Shit. Okay.
Sorry.
Don't worry, you're not drowning, you're just floating.
I'm floating.
Mad ramble aside, what else can we talk about?
Yes.
Oh, I was in the mad ramble. Oh shit. I got it. Okay. Fuck you. Travis can't save me. There we go. We're circling back. So,
Word.
the reason I brought up the lemon shot and the shots for Harambe again, how do you pronounce it, Picardi?
Limon?
What is it? Limon?
Yeah?
No, it's Limon.
Limon?
Yeah. Okay. Deanna, how would you say that?
Limon.
Why?
What part of that says limon?
The I. A-E-I-O-U. Other languages. That's how they all go. That sounds overgeneralization, but it's a fair point.
I will be the first to admit that I could be completely wrong on that.
I think I'm right, and I will. First of all, somebody prove me wrong. I'll stand to the fucking ground, but I'm pretty sure that's limon, like aki, right?
Yeah.
See.
See.
Limon?
Limon.
Okay. I mean, it's not like I was gonna fight you that hard for it.
Fuck! I wanted to go to the death. Shit.
Over the dumbest shit sometimes.
Yeah, I know. What else can we talk about for the piece? I guess we can talk about the name, right? Because I mean, it doesn't really give much away. 2 weeks notice?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the film's gonna be called 2 weeks notice. Or I mean, no, it'll be called that. We'll put it out now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, again, it's the first a lot of expectations. So take that where you will. We'll probably talk about it more. 2 weeks notice, mental health piece. What the fuck could that mean? Is what it is. And then the Yu-Gi-Oh is obviously gonna be pretty intricate. If you know Yu-Gi-Oh, it's gonna be kind of next level crazy. We're introducing a whole new thing. We're introducing a lot of new characters. We want to get custom cards built. So like, it's gonna be next level. We want to do some animation too, but we'll see how that goes. And then we also gonna want to bring Deanna back on board for being a writer for the Madtown Underground, which you don't know what the Madtown Underground used to be, D.
I'm not as familiar with it as I should be. However,
That's okay.
There is a lot of research. I am an English major, and I am very excited to learn
Research
all
is the
about
shit.
it.
Yeah, I mean, basically it used to be, I love music. I love bands. So I would just kind of like, basically Facebook stalk a band, rip a bunch of photos, shove that into some sort of like video generator, and so throw one of their songs in the background. Talk about local shows, kind of be really like use it as a playground to learn more things, which is what got us here, thank God. So now I want to take that and kind of go next level. It's going to be more of a playground for me to push myself visually, but I also want to bring in the more writing with D because she's a fantastic writer.
Oh, thank you.
We're not really sure what that means yet because we're going to kind of let her go back to see what we used to do, see what she can do, and see what a good direction going forward is. But look out for that. Tentatively, it'll be coming out in March. If you really want to get that funded and see if we can get it going faster, you should again hit up Patreon. The more money we can make on this, the more we can time and effort we can dedicate to growing the company. And we really want Perfectly Moderate, I do specifically, to be a resource for other creative people, to kind of meet other creative people. Again, like as a film person, I need writers, I need videographers, I need actors, I need creative people. So this is a place for me to kind of hopefully bring some and inspire them to be the best that they can be, collaborate on a new project, and then take that project and go on with our lives and hopefully find more creative people. And again, I want to circle back to that mental health thing. So like, I feel like interesting with the whole, the ability to have the conversation is again, the ability to inspire other people. And if you look at how like a lot of the creators and entertainers and like celebrities now are more geared towards young people, even though they're not like, again, like you said, adolescents, I get it, even though I'm not an adolescent, but it's like, you're not that removed either. You're like, what?
Sure.
In your mid to late 20s, if that?
I'm maybe 30 this year.
Really? Okay,
Yes.
I forgot how old you are, sorry.
It's alright.
But like, still, it's not that far removed. It's like
it's
10
not.
years ago, and like, that's not that long of a time, because like 10 years ago, I was, what, 14, so it's like, that's not that long ago, because that was when I was in high school. That was when I guess when I met Travis, slightly after, but it's like, it's not that long ago if you really think about it, because it feels like it was just yesterday. So it's like, you always feel that no matter how old you are, you're always young enough to be like the past generation. You're always going to get it. So
You can still sympathize even though you are removed from that generation.
yeah, especially with like how fast we're going, right? Because it's like a lot of these jumps, no matter like what age you are, you can kind of feel like that transition happen.
Mm-hmm.
So like people in our age range who are able to grow up without the technology, transition into a world full of technology, can really sympathize with people who don't have that ability to like transition. Because like then they're like, I feel so disconnected. And you're like, well, I can get that because like you didn't have that experience of truly being connected first before you're like, oh, cool, tool for interconnectedness on a whole new level. But like the turnaround, right? So like the people who are inspiring me to be creative too are probably about your age, but like if you think about it, they're inspiring me when I was a teenager. Hopefully by the time I'm their age, I've inspired people who are also teenagers. And again, like it's going to be
A cycle.
a cycle that's way faster than what it used to be. Because it used to be like, you know, people in their 40s, 50s, 60s inspiring people to be the next generation of actors and blah, blah, blah. And by the time they worked up to that point, it was like, you know, there's huge age gaps in these like...
With the advent of technology, you've narrowed that disconnect between the age.
Mm-hmm. And it's way faster. You can do that. You can have way more social issues, right? Because what matters to one person doesn't matter to the next person, but there can be a link somewhere. So you can jump from like mental health issues to like I don't know where else to go from that, but like the social justice issues, just like in general, you can jump from like race to sexuality to mental health. Like there's so many other like minor social justice issues that you can actually just bring to light quickly because of how like connected they all really are and like how open these people are. Because again, when you start talking to people and you can find your group to be like, hey, I have these issues too. I mean, think of where the company comes from. We are all just these like me, Travis, Shammy, Tissel. We're just the group of kids who kind of got shoved in a corner because we all played band and like, you know, not the quote unquote rejects, but still like, look what we're doing now. Like we banded together and like, yeah, we're fucking weird, but if you put a mic in front of us, we're pretty fucking funny, right? And like, we're just putting that out there, putting ourselves out there and telling people like, hey, it's cool. You know, it's fine. Whatever. If you want to do it, just do it. We're perfectly moderate. It's cool.
Yep. You're inspiring people to be the most authentic selves that they can be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Where you are, maybe somebody is shoving you in the corner because you're the weird kid. But you know what? Come to our corner.
Yeah, or go to Sebastian's Angry Masturbation Corner. That's where it's at.
Don't you forget about me. Now that moment's over.
And thankfully, moving on.
Moving on to what, though, is the question. We got anything else?
Considering we've been piddling around, what are we going to talk about for like the last 10 minutes? No.
Oh, cool. Because like, I'm cool calling this a shorter one, guys. So thanks for listening. I feel like this is a better series episode. We'll be back next week with some more crazy bullshit. who do we got on next week? It's the full crew, right? You, me, Shammy, Tissel?
Yep.
Oh, man, it's going to be nuts. We'll see you next week then, guys. Later.
Bye.
Peace.